randomizers.
Any second. Any second.
So, here we go. There they are. Race you to the castle. Slow and steady wins the race. My interesting.
Red boomerang to kick things off.
Yeah.
How does one
I feel
put
like
the red boomerang to use this early on?
To say a little something about that, I would say, you know, getting boomerangs later on in randomizer is typically not the most exciting or thrilling thing. However, earlier on, you know, there is quite a little bit of minor speed tech that you could use with it. You know, grabbing keys and whatnot from farther away. You know, like the big key that the ball and chain guard drops, or like the rat keys, or any of those, saving you, you know, just a little bit of walking distance.
I'll just 20 rupees to accentuate that boomerang that they've picked up for now. We'll see who's familiar with early boomerang strats between these two players.
And of course, it could always be used for safety or of the like, by stunning using it to stun enemies earlier on, or if there's some that are in your way and you just want to walk right on through them, you can just stun those enemies. Ooh, getting a 4 bomb drop there from that guard for Andy. That's really nice.
Yeah, bombs, of course, important early on to bomb the wall at the end of escape. You can come back for it if you've got the power gloves, but you'd much rather get him on the way, so those bombs are going to be key. Plus, you know, Kakariko right around the corner, lots of bombs required there, so 1 bomb is super important, but it is very nice to have a pack of 4.
It just gives you that peace of mind, because 4 is, in this early part of the game, is your magic number. You're going to have your 1 bomb to get into, as you said, those escape chests, and then there's an additional 3 bombable locations within Kakariko, which puts you at your total of 4, and hopefully, by the time you've checked all 4 of those locations, you would have picked up some more bombs, or at least 50 rupees that you could buy a pack of 10 in Kakariko, so you can continue to check like the Moldorm cave, which needs a bomb to get into. But 4 is it's looking real good right now. We did see some boomerang key grab strats from Fred there, so glad to see.
Andy's going with 8 slashes here on the guard. He's already taken 1 hit, and he's whiffing a couple, but he does get it. Boomerang out for swag, I suppose.
And Fred with a very nice 8 slash on the guard. Really, really good.
Both players putting the boomerang to work. This is really nice to see.
It, right?
Everything you said was cut out on my end. It was literally just silence and then right.
Oh, sorry. I know I've been having issues with my mic and cutting out for whatever reason, but I said if you got it, flaunt it, right?
Right. Yes, absolutely. I don't know if Fred is much of a show off, but Andy at least has a certain amount of appreciation for that. But at the end of the day, he also doesn't screw around when it comes down to business. He's interested in going fast. Yeah, but I don't think this is a standard noise gate issues.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting issue that I've been having for some time. So if I do cut out, I do apologize. Just let me know. I can repeat what I say. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, it was okay. I could figure out exactly what you said until that one time where literally everything got cut out. So players have their 4 bombs, both players. Great for people who want to see an even race. Andy with a tiny little bit of a lead And with that many bombs, they're probably not going to be worried too much about killing enemies. And, well, except for this key rat. No, come back. Andy has to chase him all the way to the corner, using the boomerang to grab it. And what does Fred get?
He didn't realize he actually got the key. The red boomerang goes so fast.
Yeah, with the blue one, it can kind of like trail behind you, and you just kind of count that it's there. But the red one doing its work. Hey, how about
How about all three? Wow! What are the chances of all three shields being in these escape chests? My goodness!
it's like Goldilocks. There's
You've
a
seen it here
baby
first,
shield
folks.
and a mama shield and a papa shield, and so now we rolling around with Big Papa Riot Shield. Both players exiting escape. Andy at 5:55. Fred just a little bit behind, probably at around 6 seconds on the dot, or 6 minutes rather. There it is.
Interesting. So we're seeing Andy, I assume, going for the pretty standard route. He's going to go up towards, check the Lumberjack tree, go into Lost Woods, and head into Kakariko. But it looks like Fred actually deciding not to do that, going down into Hyrule Field, probably checking the dam location, and then the... or maybe skipping the dam location altogether and going straight to the Moldorm Cave?
Apparently. I'm not sure if he's doing this because he thinks he's behind or something, because all the reasons to go to Kakariko, the bottle, the bombs, he's got them. So this is a conscious choice here to leave Kakariko for later.
Interesting. Oh, so we do see a fire rod there from Lumberjack tree. He actually had to go down the stairs to actually see which type of rod it was. So we did confirm it is the fire rod.
All right.
Oh, and a butter sword.
That can help out a little bit. I mean, it helps out a ton, obviously, but in terms of coming here before Kakariko, perhaps it'll help you clear out a guard or two. It can also help you get safely to the ice cave if Fred wants to head that way, or maybe he's going to do some fake flippers. We'll see.
Mirror? I'm picking up a hammer there from the for Andy from the thieves hut thing. Not really sure what to call it, but Fred looking like he's going for fake flippers.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit with it. His movement seemed way off when he was doing the bush thing, and I think it gets screwed up a little bit if you have the gold sword.
I don't think so. It should be standardized just so long as you're all the way up against the... Oh, I see what he's doing. He's still holding a diagonal. What threw me off when I was first learning that trick is I was still holding diagonal after I fell down the ledge, and you don't want to do that. You want to release the up input and just be holding right, because if you're holding that diagonal, it won't actually put you into the transition sometimes, I found. And it looks like that's what was happening with him.
Well, he does eventually get it. Good reasons to go both ways. Andy having valuable knowledge about where the fire rod is, and obtaining... What did he find? I'm already drawing a blank.
The hammer.
Hammer, yes. I was like, it's not the power glove, but it's related for some reason. Those two go together to open up a lot of Dark World locations. Hammer is what he has, and Fred has the gold sword.
Yeah, and then Fred also just got the hook shot there from Hobo. So that's definitely going to be making his trip to Death Mountain very, very efficient.
Yep.
A flute of some kind.
Yeah. With a glove or a flute. They would have been really good if Andy had found the glove. Good for Fred, because he's heading to Lost Woods right now. It looked like he skipped Lumberjack, though, so he doesn't know about that fire rod location, and that could be important.
Yeah, and now that you mention it, that could definitely have been a huge payoff for Fred had he found the gloves down there as well. Deciding to skip Kakariko maybe could have been a huge payoff there. Lost Woods here, a little unconventional.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a player not check Lumberjack, but then still do Lost Woods before Kakariko. We'll see.
I mean, it's
we'll
looking
see
like it's
when...
not a whole lot of anything from Kakariko, really.
Yep, just rupees and hearts so far. I mean, it's a lot of rupees. That can be important if the players decide to head up to King Zora. But you're definitely looking for progression items at this point, and Kakariko is not the place for it.
And there is we get a glimpse of the Quake medallion at the library there on Andy's screen. Old in the memory bank for a little bit, and the Bombos tablet through the race at the race heart piece. So interesting, especially having knowledge of these medallions already. Would give me a little bit of a peace of mind, for whatever medallions might be required for Maya or T-Rock.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks when you first start a randomizer seed, that just about the state of the world. Do I need to do Aghanim? Which dungeons are pendants? Which ones are crystals? And along with that is which medallions open Turtle Rock and Mire, and you don't have to worry so much about which one opens which if you've got all of them. So Andy's got one and has the knowledge about Quake as well. He is now heading south to the dam. Yeah, Fred did not do this, but afterwards I'm sure Andy's going to head towards Moldorm Cave, and he's going to find himself that gold sword. Will he do fake flippers to the hobo for the hookshot? That is a really big decision.
Yeah, and that's something, if he decides not to do that, could definitely set him back a ways. But yeah, going back on the medallion topic, that's definitely something I think that as a runner stresses me out probably the most out of anything is, oh no! Side comment here, Fred actually on his last bomb threw it into the wall there beneath the crack, so he's gonna have to go actually buy some more. But as I was saying, the medallions are actually one of the things that stress me out the most, because they could be pretty much anywhere, and for a long time you don't know if you actually need them or not. So you especially when you're potentially in go mode, but you don't actually know, because you don't know which medallions you still need. So you don't know whether or not to keep checking items.
Yeah, that can be a huge thing. Certain dungeons, swamp, ice, can be so much faster when you are in go mode rather than still having to check items. So that knowledge in situations like that can, add up to minutes easily. I really like Andy's choice to bombos the mini Moldorms, not screwing around at all. Bass guitar Bill in chat wondering what precisely does go mode mean, and what precisely it means is a little bit up for debate, but I think the generally agreed upon definition is that you have all of the items and or the knowledge required to get the items that you need to get all the crystals and defeat Ganon. So you don't really need to be checking chests for items anymore. You're just concerned about getting to the end.
Enter speedrun mode, and you don't have to be checking any extraneous locations. You know exactly what you need to do to go straight to the end. Andy checking the map, I think for the first time that we've seen so far, we have crystals in every location, every dungeon in the light world. I didn't see which crystal number Desert was, but I did see 6 at Eastern. So crystal number 6 and 5 are important, as once players have obtained both crystals 6 and 5, they are able to enter the double-chested fairy. They unlock the super bomb to open up the double-chested fairy.
And there's two item locations there.
Yep, and get the two items there, and so the only Fred opened up his map as well. It looked like Eastern was the only crystal that was attacks. So it does look like Andy did do his fake flippers. He is going to be rewarded with his hook shot. Fred checking. Sahasrarul getting 2 pieces of heart and an arrow upgrade.
Not what he's looking for, and without a bow, it would be pretty gutsy to head into Eastern Palace at this point.
I would say, though, on the counterpoint to that is Eastern, as far as the dungeons go, and it's the only one that they can actually. The Light World dungeons it does have the highest amount of items, so sometimes it can be a lucrative place to check. Once they've eliminated many other options, but it's looking like we've got the classic split here, and Aghanim.
That's right. This is Andy has the knowledge of where the fire rod is, and he's ready for it. So that's going to guide him over there. He doesn't have the boots to actually get the fire rod, but he's got a pretty good feeling that Aghanim is going to be required. I think it's pretty rare that the fire rod is not required at all. Though there's 3 Light World crystals, so the odds go up a little bit. Regardless, he has decided to go to Aghanim, and Fred, without that knowledge of where the fire rod is, didn't really tip the scales for him, and he's chosen Eastern. We'll see if it pays off. Using the hookshot to take a little shortcut to this first chest, comes up with just a compass, but there's more chests and more items waiting here in Eastern Palace.
Indeed there is. Now, Andy's kind of going for the long play here. It could be, he's obviously, Aghanim has to be done at some point, of course. And, with the level 4 sword, the butter sword, it's going to be very, very quick to actually complete. However, he's not actually going to be able to get the fire rod immediately upon completion, as he still needs the boots to get that. So, pyramid for him, it's not necessarily a waste of time, as he has to do it at some point, but he could have been using this time to either go in Eastern or check out Zora, which it's entirely possible, especially looking at the lack of items that Fred has been getting in Eastern, is probably the place he wants to go.
I really like that the hookshot has been made available to these players early, because I know Andy is a big fan of using the hookshot just to kind of get around. Without the boots, using the hookshot is actually a little bit faster than just walking. In a lot of places, you'd be surprised how much mileage you can get out of having that hookshot and knowing how to use it.
Right. And I believe if those of you who are more technically minded like myself and like these little, average walking speed of Link is 1.5 pixels per frame, and the average movement speed of Link while hookshotting to something is 2 pixels per frame. So you are getting that 0.5 pixel per frame there, which adds up over, I do actually think there was, someone did mention to me, there's actually a period, there's a window of, if you exceed this amount of space you travel with the hookshot, it actually would have been faster to walk. And I believe that number is 5 tiles. If you hookshot greater than a 5 tile gap, then it would have been faster to walk there, because of the time that the hookshot would have had to take to travel to the point where it hooks on. That might be incorrect. That was also a lengthy explanation. I apologize, but we see that nothing came out of Eastern for Fred here. Andy just about to finish up the Aghanim fight. We're going to see what he's going to be rewarded with on the pyramid.
With Eastern coming up empty, I think the odds are pretty darn good that the pyramid is holding one of these key progression items the players are looking for. Fred's heading to the dam. We know it's not there. And with no way to get into Desert Palace, there's, Aghanim's cave? Zora, maybe?
Yeah, and we know Zora is on Fred's... Yeah, sorry to... Although there we've got Titan's Mitts there on the pyramid, but we also know that Zora is on Fred's mind, as we did see him grab those rupees in Eastern Palace. He only needs 1 more rupee in order to get that item. Andy getting the Titan's mitts there, so he no doubt about that. That's his next plan of action. But it looks like Fred deciding to go check Agnes Cave, as you mentioned, Myth.
Also a bit of advantage knowledge by checking out what is on the ledge. We're going to get a peek at it, just some rupees. Though I guess Fred does have rupees on the mind, literally just one shy.
Yeah, any rupee will do.
Yep, green, red, blue, he'll take it. So Zora, they don't have the flippers, they don't have the glove. I mean, Andy does now, but without either of those, there's not going to be a progression item at Zora unless it's a sequence break, right?
That is correct. You can get to Zora by fake flippering and hitting up the warp, but normally you would need the level 1 lift upgrade to get to Zora. To swim through the warp naturally. Item there, but not a progression item that they would need at this point. It would be one that they would be obtaining later based on the logic.
So we know it's probably on Death Mountain. Andy's got the flippers now, so he can head up there legit. And it does mean that if Fred decides to do fake flippers, he'll probably find something that will... it's not like a big jump ahead through the logic progression of items. He's just skipping this one step of... I mean, it's a heck of a step going all the way to Aghanim and getting the mitts on Pyramid. But there it is. It looks like he's instead going all the way over to Ice Cave, and we know this is not going to pay off. This is a shame.
Yeah, so it's in the grand scheme of things, it is there's a shovel there underneath the Spectacle Rock. It's not like the largest jump in the logic, generally speaking, but in terms of time, skipping the entire ascent up Aghanim's Tower is, a costly multi-minute. In this case, we know that it is very, very likely to be required, as Fire Rod not being required is a very unlikely scenario.
Yeah, this race could all come down to basically Fred did not check Lumberjack Cave. I think he's kind of out of options now at this point, so he is going to be going to Aghanim. Didn't lose... well, no, I think it's a fair big chunk of time to go all the way to Aghanim, all the way up to Ice Cave, just to check things because you don't want to do Aghanim. So this is...
he's probably not get hit.
Oh, yes,
sorry,
right.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but he needed to be really careful there. Sorry, continue with your thought.
No, whatever I was going to say doesn't matter, because if you get hit during fake flippers, you die. That's not technically how it's supposed to happen in the base game. What happens is you just soft lock the game, and that's no fun. We want players to be able to fake flippers in this tournament. It's a really cool split right at the end of that South Hyrule thing. It adds a ton of options. We would probably try to make this happen, even if it wasn't a decision made by the developers of the randomizer. But instead of soft locking, it'll just be nice and kill you off. So not quite as bad a fate as a soft lock, but still a really big time loss. So you cannot take damage while you are fake flippering.
Oh, we see the unfortunate no payoff there for Fred from Zora getting a bottle, which would have been nice had they not obtained a bottle early on in the escape. Could have gone back to check the sick kid, but that unfortunate loss of time there. And we did see the Zora ledge item was also a 300 rupees, which at this point, neither of these... Well, actually, Andy hasn't checked Zora, but Fred definitely is not in any need of any more rupees still. Andy finding the Moon Pearl now. He's got the whole Dark World opened up to him. Right now, finding the Book of Medora also. So now he can head on into Desert. He has no way of completing that dungeon as of yet. He does not have a Source of Fire, the Fire Rod, or the Lamp. But he can complete the entirety of the rest of the Death Mountain chests, now with that Moon Pearl and the Hook Shot. In case the floating ledge is also something of value.
Yeah, he's definitely not done with Death Mountain yet. Spotting the flute on the ledge. definitely going to be heading over there after checking this spiral cave. It kind of sucks here to come here without boots. It does a hook shot, which can at least help you deal with these jellies and these Moldorm, mini Moldorms. But still, this is quite a trick.
Worth it for him as far as like movement is concerned. That flute, especially without the boots, is extremely valuable.
Things are really going Andy's way here. Fred is about to have like over Andy. He's checked Sahasrahla Eastern and Agana's Cave, all with nothing. Their places Andy is probably going to go because those are crystals. So yeah, everything he's done has, other than Andy, hasn't earned him any sort of advantage over Andy at all. So Andy in the driver's seat here, taking off into the dark world with his new Moon Pearl. We'll see what other kind of goodies are waiting here on Death Mountain.
Yeah, and you do have to hand it to Fred, though, making that early gamble to not go to Kakariko so early, which, we did find it would have, it did sort of pay off since there was really nothing in Kakariko whatsoever. Had there been something, like gloves as well on that path, exponentially better, maybe even sent him ahead of Andy at this point, but, it's all conjecture, that and speculation. So,
all right, there's our Dark World map. I only saw Pendant and Mire, but hopefully our tracker spotted a bunch of those.
Deep Town and then Ice, I believe, was green. Conjecture.
On conjecture. I think that was Quake required for Turtle Rock, and Andy now lifting up this rock. He does want that flute, so this of course he's going to go in for a variety of reasons, but there's 4 chests here, and with this hook shot he's able to check 3 more of them. Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Oh, we're getting which is great because they already have that. Knowledge of the other of where Quake is too. So if Mire is either Bombless or Quake, then they're good to go on those medallions. Oh wait, but Mire is not required. So as far as crystals are concerned.
That's right. You never know. It's a pretty trolly seed when Pendant Mire is required for something. Doesn't have a whole lot of items. Is only available pretty late. So odds are not good that something you need is in there. And you having trouble with the Lionels, but using the Mirror Shield. When you got the boots, you can dash through right through all those guys. It's no problem. But without the boots, he's pretty happy to have that Mirror Shield, I bet. Ether Tablet coming up empty for Andy as Fred has got his Titan's Mitts, and I'm sure he's going to be straight up to Death Mountain.
Knocked the dead rock right into his path there. Andy's sake, or maybe maybe there's people hoping that one of the items is in the basement as he doesn't have a fire source to get down there and spawn that chest. Or the no troll there, that he finds the items that he needs before having to head down there. But we will see. Looks like Fred is finally going up to check the lumberjack.
Just kidding. Straight to Death Mountain.
Yeah.
So if he's not going to check it now, when does it make sense for him to check it at all? I'm starting to wonder now if this fire rod could be a really big problem for him.
he might just wait and do it once he's found boots. I mean, he knows he can get whatever item is there, regardless of whether or not he needs it now, because he does have Aghanim down. First there from the old man.
And he does not have boots, so even though he's got hookshot and could hookshot straight to the big chest, it's slower to be forced to fall down afterwards than if you just go up and do it the intended way. So he falls down and finds just a compass. I've not been paying too close attention to the items here, so I'm not sure if this is a 50-50 situation as to what Moldorm has and what might be in the basement.
Yes, it is. I believe.
2 shots on Moldorm with the gold sword. No problem, easy peasy. He drops boots. Wow! 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 Wow!
Look at that.
Cool, man. It has been smooth sailing for Andy. He has just been taking the natural course through the game and just keeps finding something else to keep him going. And Fred has been going, everywhere but the main path that most people would take. I guess he's detected that he's likely to get outplayed by Andy and is trying to beat him by taking some gambles, but none of them are paying off. He's just finding wall after wall.
I think, though, now that he has acquired the Moon Pearl, he's going to be on the straight and narrow now. His path is kind of set for him.
Yeah, there's no way you skip checking Death Mountain while you're here. Way too many locations, and you're already right there. So he's going to be busy here on Death Mountain for a while. Here is a crystal. He's right there. Fully expect him to go in. It might even be perceived as a gamble if you're going in without a fire source. Andy's putting the boots to use. His newest, freshest item. I find when you get the boots, when you're stuck or you're starting to get stuck and you find those boots, I think the odds are pretty good that one of those 2 locations next to Sanctuary has something you need. And the boots, of course, also let you get this lumberjack item. So here he is going to collect his precious fire rod.
Yeah, and that fire rod's really going to open up a lot of pretty much everything he would be missing here as far as go mode are concerned. Is going to be the ice rod and the cane of Samaria.
Yeah, that is
He still hasn't. Sorry, I just want to mention real quick. He hasn't checked the shovel location yet. It looks like he is heading back to Kakariko. I assume he's going to activate his flute, grab the Quake tablet, and probably enter some dungeons, start clearing some dungeons.
I do know Andy's a fan of doing dungeons, overworld locations in obviously when it makes sense. But he does lean a little towards going into those dungeons, not really afraid to have to work a little bit more to get those chances of finding items. And if it's a crystal, then I'm pretty sure absolutely he's gonna go in.
I do apologize. Thank you for correcting me, chat. Andy did check the shovel location. It was a red rupee. But yes, as I suspected, coming in here, grabbing Quake. We know Fred's going to be getting nothing from these 4 chests, but then get his own flute. Footsteps of heading over to Hera, checking the ether tablet, and getting the boots of his own.
We know Crystal 6 is Eastern, but I did not catch which palace holds Crystal 5. We'll see if that can be a factor, but we already know where most of the key items, like you said, Ice Rod and Cane Samara, are the only ones left. So So the odds of one of those being in the Fat Fairy Cave, pretty low. That would be a really interesting finale to a seed that has been very smooth so far.
I definitely agree with you there, yes. So Andy deciding heading on into T-Rock as his first dungeon here. I agree with this. It's a pretty quick dungeon, especially if you find this dungeon, of which Andy has already found one, a red rupee. It can be very, very quick. And there's the power glove. So there, he's got both of the items that he needs here. He can just quickly dungeon rush this and get right on out of here without having to check the in the latter half of the dungeon that takes a while to get to. As Fred just checking the ether tablet, bummed about his arrows, going into Eastern. Oh, he's checking. He's gonna find his shovel here, and then go into Eastern, I hope. No, he might be thinking to himself, I don't have a fire source, it might not be worth it.
With all the gambles he's taken so far, I would be surprised if that was what put him off going into Hera. But maybe you take a bunch of gambles and you get burned, and now you don't really feel like doing that anymore. Hard to say.
Right. It looks like he is going to... Good choice. The knowledge we have, we know this is a good choice. Oh man, Andy getting trolled here.
Picked up there, I'm pretty... No, he's a bunny. I missed him because he was a bunny. I looked away for a moment. So he's dropping
2 hearts here into the Mothula fight. So let's see how this goes for him. If he takes a hit from Mothula, that is going to be the end for Andy.
I think all 3 of those hits looked really solid. Yep, they did. He made sure to knock Mothula into that block at the top and not into the spikes. That actually does 0 damage. So nice ping pong there with Mothula in putting the fire rod to good use for the kill. A clutch kill. That is pretty big. There's not much left that can really trip him up. I mean, he's still got green mail. He's still pretty low on hearts, but it's looking more and more like Andy's got this. It's his race to lose at this point.
And the moment you've all been waiting for, checking that pedestal. Maximum health increased. We've got a full heart container, folks, at the pedestal.
Put it on.
Oh no! Fred just slightly too low went on his falling down that pit there, actually landed on the stars and walked up into the pit that he activated by stepping on the stars. Neither of these players actually deciding to do the bomb jump. Just there, deciding to go all the way up and around. I know you mentioned that they could hook shot and didn't have the boots to bonk back across, but however, you can bomb jump if you're within 2 pixels of the gap. You can actually bomb jump across there, and it will still get you across the gap. And I paid a little more attention to the items in Hera. The basement does have an item in Hera.
Ooh.
The boots was the only item they did receive.
So that means Andy's got a fire source. Definitely not in a hurry to go running all the way back up to a mostly empty Death Mountain for one item. Got a lot of other places he would rather check first. But that, there's if one of the key items is there, it could very well be the story of this whole race.
And so it looks like we had a ether requirement for Meyer, but again, Meyer is a pendant dungeon, so the requirement for ether is probably pretty low.
Andy is heading into desert. He's got himself a big key, but with the fire source and the boots, he's going to be able to complete this palace no matter what. Interesting enough, he already had the flute and the mirror and the moon pearl, I guess. Though that's not required. By the time he got the book, so no standard entrance into desert. Takes a while to open up the front entrance, so he just went ahead and mirrored into the back one.
And that is actually not only, as you said, is it faster to do so, because using the book, waiting for like the whole prayer sequence to happen. I'm not sure what else to call it, but that takes time. But additionally, because you entered in the entrance to the dungeon, and that's where you want to head out to get to the second part, you'll see Andy here mirror back after getting this next chest and take him all the way back to where he wants to go. And that saves quite a bit of time too from not having to...
Oh, no! Too fast! Andy! Oh boy, jump the gun on that one. He is going to have to dash all the way across the desert palace once again to see what is in that chest. And if it's some rupees, if it's some bombs or arrows, I think that just makes it all the sweeter for us as we watch him most of the way there now. What is it? What is this one thing?
Poor guy. I feel like I'm partially to blame for this, commentator's curse and all. I guess he just wanted to show, and there are 50 rupees. Oh, adding insult to injury there.
Not showing any frustration slashes or anything. Andy, he will have like very, very short emotional outbursts. Like something happens, he'll go, "Argh!" And then like 2 seconds later, it's out of his mind. It's gone. He's calm, collected, moving on and thinking of his best move. So it's super impressive, and I bet he's not going to let that rattle him.
I mean, that sounds like something that's a mindset and temperament that would be extremely valuable in mystery game tournaments. As for those of you who are unaware, Andy is many mystery tournaments. So that sounds like that served him well and continues to do so.
Yeah, he's his ability to think on his feet keeps him really really well grounded in Randomizer, especially when odd things happen. There's a lot of possibilities in Randomizer, and some of them are enough to make even the most seasoned runners pause and skip a beat. Wow, did that really just happen? And Andy's pretty good at dealing with those situations. It did okay on Moldorm. It looked like a 3-cycle. Had the fire rod, but not a lot of magic to put it to work. But with 2 hearts, he does finish off Landmolas. I think I called them Moldorm earlier. And that's another crystal for him. He's up to 3.
And there is the ether tablet for Fred there. So now we have knowledge / have obtained all, well, we do as have the knowledge.
Although
the bomb shack. Go ahead, sorry.
I just realized we've made the mistake of relying on the things that are lit up on the tracker to tell us which items they're missing. Because there's a third required item they don't have. They don't have the bow. The arrow, single arrow has led us astray. Yes, I do this every time.
Same. Yep. You're not the only one. That's a pretty important thing that they are missing right there. So, yes, definitely.
Eastern Palace is a quick dungeon. It is a juicy crystal number 6. There's lots of reasons to go there, but without the bow, that's a really big reason not to. So Andy's going to be looking for other places to go first. He's got the hookshot and the flippers, and Swamp just happens to also be an equally juicy crystal number 5. So this is where he is going next, but probably not before a little visit to the Hype Cave.
Andy checking his map for a 3rd time. I totally can't blame him. You know, sometimes you just don't quite absorb all that information. You did get a bee in a bottle, the magic powder, half magic, and the bow.
Oh, baby, Hype Cave. Living up to its name.
There it is, folks.
Oh my god, there's an emoji for a bow and arrow? That's awesome. But I think I'm more a fan of the D.
I mean,
and now that soundbite of me saying that is out on the internet for everyone to know
exploit
and, yeah.
for their amusement in your however you would feel about that. Checking Bombo's tablet now for Andy before he would head on into Swamp, finding the red mail. Probably pretty happy about that, to be honest, with the lack of health that they've been receiving in this seed.
Yeah, I think
and
that's...
silver arrows.
Oh, yeah?
And the hammer pegs.
Nice find for Fred. I was about to say red mail is probably one of the best things Andy could find. You know, he's had a very smooth route through everything up to this point. Fred very much has not. So one of the things that can happen here that can even things up is Andy to straight up die. He's only down to 7 hearts, and with green mail, having to head into dungeons like Turtle Rock, Palace of Darkness without the lantern is pretty scary. You know, there's some opportunities for dying there, but with the red mail now, those chances go way down, and it's a good thing that Fred's got some silver arrows to have something at least to tip the scales back in his favor.
Right. And we do see Fred actually showing off some cool hookshot tech here with the chest, or any follower that you would lose by dashing, like the big bomb or the chest. I believe those are actually the only two. If you hookshot to something and then initiate a dash as the item is rushing to catch up with you, you can actually dash with that item. So Fred showing off a little bit of that for us, which is pretty cool. Seeming like Andy decided to do, instead of going to Swamp like I had predicted, doing Dark World items here. Probably heading into Thieves Town. The rest of this.
He does like to do Thieves Town, even if it's a pendant. There's a good number of items in there. It's a pretty quick dungeon. As far as Dark World dungeons go, I suppose. But I'm pretty surprised he didn't go into Swamp. I definitely would have pegged him as doing that, but it looks like he's got his eye on overworld locations for now. We'll see if he's done with that or if he does indeed head into Thieves Town. Finding his own silver arrows now. Taking that one little bit of advantage away from Fred. Fred is in the neighborhood of Hype Cave. I fully expect him to go. Looks like he's going to go straight there. I thought he was going to go drop off Purple Chest first. This is really good news. For those of us who want to see a close race, there's a lot of lovely items waiting for him in there.
I'm sure he's going to be he's going to be obviously excited to see that bow there. Probably a little bit disappointed in that he's getting his powder now. I'm sure he much would have preferred the powder before when he was checking, but we are going to see, is it actually worth it here? And he's going to show us.
As soon as he manages to menu over to the powder, the Link to the Past menu is a little bizarre sometimes, especially when there's different items missing in different places. But looks like powder only leads to a piece of heart. What a kick in the pants it would have been if it had ended up being another key item, just another thing that would not have gone Fred's way.
Well, maybe we have a chance here. Is this going to... Ooh, the cape. Now, I don't believe we've actually seen what's at Bumper Cave. So it's entirely possible that that cape is going to take him to something good here. This hookshot dashing with the chest for Andy.
Oh, okay. I was like, where is Andy taking this purple chest? He's just checking this southern hut here in the Dark World first, finding that ether medallion. If for some reason these players do end up having to go into Mire, he can do that now. As Fred gets his red mail from Bombo's tablet, and well, he's been to Hype Cave. Does he head into Swamp at this point?
I mean, it's right here. It has 6 potential items. I don't really see an argument for not doing it. But of course, that's just me. But I could only assume Andy's going to be doing the same thing after he drops the chest off. With the thing people have referred to him as Gary.
Yeah, that's well. They refer to him as Gary because that's his name.
Is it? Okay, I was unaware. I learned something today.
Yeah. If you want to know my source on that, I'll get back to you. So Fred is moving your Swamp Palace here, and Andy has elected to go up to the portal in Kakariko. So, what, Thieves Town? No, Bumper Cave. He's got that cape, and he's gonna go check the Northern Dark World here.
Say this is probably equally as good of a play as heading on into Swamp at this point. So let's see. Show me value. 20 rupees. All right.
With 884 rupees, Andy is not interested in any of that. Luckily, there's still a couple more things to do to kind of make this worthwhile. There's a cave ledge behind the graveyard here, and if he wants, he could keep going all the way over to Catfish.
Probably his plan, as he also hasn't done Zora yet. Is that correct? I don't think he has. I believe
right.
only for... Yeah, so he's gonna get all of this in one fell swoop.
With 884 rupees to Fred's 407, I think it makes sense that he's missing this 500 rupee hit he's about to take. Most likely, he is heading over to Catfish, so it very much makes sense. The only thing missing from this sweep of the sort of northeastern area of the map is no mushroom, so he's not able to turn in that right here on his way by. But with the flute, it's pretty quick to do that should you encounter the mysterious fungus somewhere else in the game.
Ooh, interesting here from Fred. Now, I've seen players do this. Personally, I'm not a fan. Getting trolled by this red jelly too. Not a fan of that either, but I'm also not a fan of this decision that he's making that I've also seen quite a few other players make, is skipping the entirety of the left-hand side of this dungeon. Yes, it is slow. Yes, there are only 2 items, potentially a third if you maybe get the big key over there, because the big key would be one of them, and you're still netting 2 potential chests. Either way, it's still chests in this dungeon, so I don't know, man.
I know some players will consider going all the way through to Argus and then re-entering to check the left side. So maybe he'll have that in mind. I guess we'll see. He's getting close to the end here. Finding a blue mail, not going to help him out too much when he's already got red. And Andy's completed his trek up to Zora. It's 500 rupees less rich. And where's he going? With the bow in hand, he's going to be heading to Eastern, but not before heading into the Dark World to sort of combo it with Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, there's a couple of
Argus fight.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Wow. Yeah, it's just so bad with the cutoff. All right, he is going to do Argus. Doing it with the gold sword, he only has to swing once to take out these little puffs and avoiding a second cycle there by just a little bit, cutting it pretty close, and then 2 spins to finish off Argus.
With the cutoff myth. Yeah, so Andy, now I was gonna say there's a couple of dungeons where you want to try and combo them together. Palace of Darkness and Eastern are one of those combos. Desert and Mire is another one of those combos that are always good to pair up. Cuts down on the amount of overworld travel. And it does look like Fred, he did pick up that boss key from Argus, so it does look like this wait here is going to pay off a little bit. Less traveling through that dungeon here as Andy decides to head on in to Pod.
Manages to hold on to Kiki the monkey. There goes another 105 rupees or so to pay the greedy little monkey. He's into Pod now. He's got everything he needs to complete it, but he does not have a lantern, so he's going to have to brave some of these dark rooms, most likely. He's still looking for 2 items, the Ice Rod and the Cane of Samaria, and there are 5 items in Palace of Darkness, so you really don't want to leave chests unopened here, and that means braving some of these dark rooms.
Yeah, we will see how it goes. Now, fortunately, with the Fire Rod at least, it makes the Terrapin room in the basement easier without a lamp, because there are lanterns that you can actually light in that room using the Fire Rod, so that makes it a little bit easier. The tricky part is the excuse me, is the Dark Maze. A little bit of getting used to. I know for a while I had to pull up a map of the dungeon so I could use that to help guide myself through. I've done it quite a few times now. I've started to eliminate the map from it's a necessary thing to do to get through there, but it definitely takes quite some time. Fred did not knock the pegs back up. He's only going to be able to check the left-hand side chest here. He will not be able to get to the right chest because those blocks are still...
Hopefully he's been counting
the hard way.
If I'm not sure what we know about dungeon items found so far. It's possible that there will be a map or a compass or something in that final chest, and that would save Fred quite a bit of a backtrack here. Oh, he finds the map. No, now he sees it. Ugh.
And we do know it. There is going to be an item in there. He has during his menu. He's not checking it. He had both the map and the compass, and he's not checking it.
It's quite a ways for one item, and he's already been taking plenty of gambles so far. He figures at this point I need to risk that nothing is in that one spot.
So that's something to keep in mind when we see Andy head on back there. If he does end up checking that item, we want to make sure to... Is that going to be... Is Fred going to be kicking himself? I think skip that.
Andy looks like he's going to be setting up a bomb jump here. This is a really difficult trick using pause buffering here. It doesn't have... Well, he does have the boots, but opting to do it with the menu. And just barely getting it before the collapsing bridge. Nice job.
It is tricky. There is a perfect placements. First of all, your bomb needs to be on a correct pixel, and then Link needs to be on a correct pixel. And there is only one correct pixel, so it's similar to the Ice Palace bomb jump in that there are 2 correct pixels that you need to be on, both your bomb and Link. It's more difficult in that there's not as much leeway. The Ice Palace bomb jump has multiple pixels and combinations that can work. There's only one. In addition to the most difficult factor of that, you only have a limited amount of time to do it, as that walkway is collapsing.
Yeah, it's definitely an advanced trick, and leaving out some of the major glitch shenanigans and perhaps hovering. I'd say it's one of the single most difficult things to do in a Link to the Past speedrun. Dark Maze
I would say so.
So far for Andy. Another one. If these were items that he would really want to see here, like an Ice Rod or a King of Samaria, we wouldn't actually see them. They show up completely dark in the dark room, but these dungeon items are visible. So no mysteries so far. Though it looked like he did open his item menu just to make sure.
I think he was opening his item menu to check. Why is he not?
Did he do some? I mean, I didn't see when he opened the menu, but does he like not have the? Doesn't have the compass or the map, but still.
Oh, he doesn't have the compass or the map. There's that chest. There's the. I think he checked one of the chests in the maze. There's still the big key chest, and then the. Wait, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. If there are 3 remaining chests plus Helmasaur.
Well, he did still the big key because he bomb jumped, right? Oh, you mean the key with the chest with the big key?
Oh, that's right. I think. Yeah. Did he?
Chat reporting he did find it, although maybe they're making the same mistake I just did. Well, either we're wrong and he's kept count and he knows, or he's miscounted.
Okay. I don't think so, no, because he bomb jumped to the big chest. He must have checked the 2 in the maze, because then he came out through the top key door, and he doesn't have. And there's only 2 remaining locations, Helmasaur and that chest that he skipped. So he's fine. He's got him. So.
Pretty smart play there from Andy, throwing off both commentary. I mean, it's easy to throw me off, but for Wild Anaconda at least knows his stuff. But yeah, Andy keeping track of items and using that to save time can save you a lot of time if you're avoiding a detour to a very long chest, or it can save you just a second or two not checking in a chest that is right there in the open.
Give yourself a little bit of credit. I mean, you've been watching enough of these. You've been doing enough commentary to know what you're talking about.
As long as everyone sticks to the script, as soon as someone goes off script, I have no idea what is happening or why. So it is situations like that where I'm exposed for the amateur I am. Andy having a great Helmasaur fight here, having the sword out when delivering the hammer blows. I think it increases the hitbox of the hammer. I know it definitely makes it easier.
Yes, it does increase the hitbox of the hammer.
Yeah, so getting the 17 chips on the hammer and then Gold Sword is only 2 hits. So even though he's got the Silver Arrow, which actually kills him in 1, and that's funny. But it is slow to menu to the thing. And also it's kind of hard to hit the little green dot on his head with the Silver Arrow. So most players will opt to just give him the slashes when they've got that Gold Sword.
I do want to say, though, yes, that was a really nice Helmasaur fight, but it was also a really good Terrapin room, especially because he didn't light the torches with the Fire Rod. He only took, like, 1 hit, I think, in that room, and managed to kill all of the Terrapins. So that was really, really nice. For that, I definitely would have...
Yeah.
If I've got the ability to light the torches in that room without the lamp, I always will.
It's no joke. That room can really get away from you. If one hammer is off and turtles are flipped that you don't think are flipped, or are not flipped that you think are flipped, and you're just hammering in the darkness, you have no idea if turtles are flipped or unflipped and where they are anymore. It can be a nightmare. I know there are people who would prefer to go through both Turtle Rock and Mire in the dark rather than have to deal with the turtle room in the dark. So Andy kind of man mode there, skipping the Fire Rod to light the lantern, and doing a fantastic job. Fred now into Skullwoods. He, like Andy, has found those 2 items and is now heading straight to Mothula. He's going to have a much easier fight than Andy did. Not going to have to clutch it out too much, I'm sure, with Red Mail and Half Magic Fire Rod.
And not to mention, like, 4 times as many hearts as Andy had when he went in there, and he only had 2. So
We'll see if Andy is going to go straight to Armos or if he's going to check the chest on the right. He is. We already know that this is disappointing. So a small win for Fred here.
Yeah, I believe it was 20 rupees. Again.
Into the Moth of the fight. Trying to knock him straight to the right rather than up into the block. At least one solid hit there. 2, 3. One more should do it. Yep, there it is. Pretty solid fight, I'd say, from Fred.
Definitely. Oh, piece of heart. Excuse me. But getting a nice... I really enjoy Eastern, and I'm really glad that Andy is showing this off too. With Boots and Hookshot, I believe it's the only dungeon with stairs that you're able to do a hook dash on. And so he was showing that off in the big chest room and the vanilla big key room. You're able to dive through those rooms. It makes it super fun because it's the only area indoors where you're able to really make proper use of that. There's a couple of caves in the overworld where you can, but it's not as fast.
Yeah, where Link went to school, they were very strict about running in the halls, so he keeps his dashing outdoors entirely. But something about Eastern Palace just brings out the child in him, so he is able to show a bit of that wonderful spin speed. And Silver Arrow's making quick work of the Igors as he heads into the Armos fight. Silver Arrow is helping out even more here. We'll see if he can get this quick kill. It took one hit, but it was a pretty fortunate hit, the way it knocked him back, and he's able to get all 6 down pretty quickly, gets a map. So, we knew that was coming, though. And more importantly, gets his 5th crystal.
Only assume he'll probably head to Swamp now, as it is going to have a large number of chests. Yep, he's fluting to 4. You know, fluting to 4 is going to be faster. You have faster access to that warp to go into Swamp. So again, we want to see, is he going to be checking the vanilla big key chest in Swamp as Fred...
Yeah, that would pretty much decide everything right there. If Andy does check that and it does happen to have the Ice Rod or the King of Samaria, it's probably just lights out for Fred at that point. It would take a pretty big stroke of luck for Fred to prioritize going back there for that one chest. And we'll see. For those who want this to not be a runaway game here, we'll hope that the items these guys are looking for are not in that one chest here in Swamp. But then again, I mean, we know it's, aside from that one chest, that there are no other items in Swamp, so it's looking more and more like these runners are going to have to make a play for one of these pendant dungeons.
Yes, the vanilla big key chest that has the chest that has the big key in it in the vanilla game is the chest I was referring to, the one that...
Yeah, I made that same mistake, guy in chat, so it's okay. Fred heading into Desert now. Pretty quick dungeon.
I've done the first portion of this dungeon, so doesn't need to... part is fine.
Even quicker dungeon.
Exactly.
And he's into Swamp here. He's made sure not to drown any keys so far. I've seen it happen a number of times in tournament matches, usually to less experienced players. But it is possible to do things sort of out of order and fill up the lower area of this dungeon with water while a small key hides under one of the items there. And normally, I think in the vanilla game, you're just donezo. I don't think there's a way to get it.
It's not possible to actually do that. The reason why it happens is, as you could see, Andy he hookshotted to that key on the little that little outcropping to the right of the big chest. Normally you don't have a key at this point to go into the door. Andy just entered to do this, and so if he were to hit this switch and then flood the key with that lever, then that's, you know, then it floods the key, but you're not actually unable to get up to that area with the lever in the vanilla game. I mean, I'm sure you might be able to do it with some heavy glitches, but yeah, it's not a possible thing to do in vanilla.
Well, whether it's randomizer specific or the coding is there in the original game, you can fix the situation by not just leaving the dungeon, but then leaving the screen that the dungeon is on, and then coming back. That will reset the dungeon and let you progress, but we don't have to worry about any of that because Andy has successfully not flooded any keys. Heading to the left side of Swamp here, and I'm pretty sure the pegs
are down.
Right position.
He did hit them. Yes, indeed.
So we big reveal here coming up in just a moment as Fred makes his way to the Palace of Darkness, shortly followed by Eastern, I'm sure. And when he comes out of there and Andy comes out of Swamp, we'll be sitting on 6 crystals apiece, with no one quite sure where the Ice Rod or Kingdom of Samaria is. There's the map. Here's the hookshot across. There's the pegs that are now down. What is in this last chest?
Oh, a lamp. Huh. All right.
Interesting. Could have helped Fred. It probably would have saved more time than you would have lost, you know, hookshotting across and going and grabbing it. As good as you may be at handling those dark rooms in Palace of Darkness, you're not going to do them as fast as if you could see.
Right, and unfortunately, that we're going to be seeing that happen into Fred right now, as that is where he is in Palace of, in Palace of Darkness right now. Hopefully, he doesn't have too much trouble with the dark rooms because of that. But now we're still left. Now with that chest checked, we're still get it in the dark about where the Ice Rod and the Cane of Samaria are. Yeah.
They could be lurking in Misery Mire. Perhaps truly hiding in the dark. There's some of the dark rooms there. Not the Cane of Samaria, but the Ice Rod could actually be in Turtle Rock. That's a pretty trolly location for it. But there's a fair number of items in Thieves' Town and Ice Palace. And despite Ice Palace being kind of a chore to check, I wouldn't be surprised if Andy made that his second priority after Thieves' Town.
Yeah, especially because Thieves' Town is just so much more straightforward. Ice is just a really awful dungeon to be checking.
I think Andy was trying to go for the quick kill there on Argus. It is incredibly difficult. You need to have your sword out and then do a hook dash, and that makes your stabby sword do full damage. There it is. We're getting to see some of it there. You basically end up using the hook shot and skewering the puffs instantly on your sword, and you're able to rapid fire pull them all off of Argus. And wow, getting the double fire rod into the spin as well.
Yeah, nice one cycle there on the second phase.
Really strong Argus fight from him as Fred. He's gonna charge past the bomb jump opportunity for now. I think this is what Andy did. He'll perhaps come down on it later.
Now I've got a question for you. Andy has both 5 and 6 now. Do you think we're gonna see him go to the double-chested fairy, or are we gonna possibly? Do you think he's gonna head on into Thieves or?
He's pretty close to the bomb shop, so he's indicating here how thorough he's being by going back into the dungeon to open the big chest rather. So If he realizes that he has crystals 5 and 6, I would say yes. I think that's probably what he would do. Ooh, blue cane there in the big chest.
Wrong cane game.
Yeah. It's the wrong color.
As Fred is through this dark maze here, it does look like, yes, Andy is going to be checking the double-chested fairy. If both those items were right there.
I was really tempted to fill in some song lyrics there.
So was I, but I...
Then I was like, oh, but what if I get them wrong? Oh, it won't make any sense. Better just let it go.
That's exactly why I didn't. I don't know any more words other than "wouldn't it be nice."
All right, so Super Bomb here, coming up on the Big Pyramid. This is this could be it. Could find both items here. Grabbing the bomb and resetting it, showing a bit of frustration, moving it a little closer, just making sure. And this is just the good luck dance to ensure that what's inside this cave is what he needs. Just kidding. Nothing inside. So probably Thieves Town is what I'm thinking, if I know Andy. And now Fred, he definitely did House of Darkness. Did he also do Eastern? It was a straight shot to the boss because he's already been there. Or did he maybe leave Palace of Darkness early?
I'm gonna be completely honest, I was not entirely watching. I was grabbing a hilarious video that I've just found recently, put it there in chat, having to do with wouldn't it be nice? It's long, definitely worth your time to watch.
Well, that's the kind of responsible commentary that I can get behind.
Yeah.
Chat reporting and keeping us on track that he did indeed just leave pod early. He's
interesting.
I mean, it's a crystal, so I'm guessing he's a little bit afraid of the dark, perhaps looking for that lantern, which we know he's missing in the one chest in Swamp Palace. Could that possibly be the situation he's in?
Oh man, finding the mushroom though in the last chest in the first part of Thieves.
Andy, meanwhile, determined to be thorough and not get caught by some nasty item lurking in an already checked dungeon. He's heading back to Hera, and he's waiting it out on this tile room, doing what he can, slashing his sword to try to keep himself from falling asleep, but he does successfully stay awake to get down to the basement.
And 300 rupees. All right, we know Fred's not going to get anything but a little bit of love, as they say, from the... I assume he's going to go turn in his mushroom real quick. As Andy probably heading into Thieves now, as well. Zora has been checked by both players, yes.
Andy did a whole sweep of the northern areas of the world. I think both players have got pretty much everything on the south side. I'm not sure there's much overworld left to be checked.
Nothing immediately comes to mind. Bombs only for the mushroom. I've spent all the rupees I need. I'll grab some more blue potions for myself.
Giving up the beat. Oh man, that's a hefty price to pay for a blue potion. I think I saw, I don't know if it was B-Torp himself, but I think it was probably Tear actually. Drink a blue potion to empty it to catch a bee. Interesting. Making the opposite trade. Tear is, that That's just the kind of player he is.
All right, I'm interested to see, is Andy going to peace out of Thieves as soon as he finds the mushroom, just like Fred? Actually continue on and complete the dungeon here.
It's awfully tempting to just assume that you've got what you need and stop wasting time. But Andy's shown he's been thorough so far. He's not left items behind in any dungeon now. And he's not about to start with Thieves Town.
I definitely support this decision, even without the knowledge of mushroom not being worth it. I still would have definitely continued checking this dungeon myself. So I agree with his decision. Getting the God Pixel there in the Hellway, but unfortunately not getting good RNG from the Patrick Stars to be able to dash all the way through. Looks like Fred has re-entered and almost got the God Pixel there. Looks like he was 1 pixel too far to the left.
Yeah, I was wondering if maybe he didn't know, because he did continue all the way into the spikes. Or perhaps he was just going to take the invincibility frames and use that to dash through the rest of the enemies. Better to get hit somewhere where you know where you're going to go rather than get hit by an enemy and be not sure where you're going to end up after you get knocked back. Either way, high five between the two players in this lit hallway here in Thieves Town. Andy just a little bit ahead, but also a number of locations ahead, and of course 2 crystals ahead. But this hallway is lit. Yeah, that's not what I was going for.
I was wondering if anybody was going to comment on that.
Someone was.
Undoubtedly, with 1,000 people in here. See here, I believe there's only one location. Yeah, so one of them's going to have the compass for Andy. One of them is going to have the remaining dungeon items. We're going to see if it's at the big chest here or at Blind herself. Excuse me. Yeah, it looks like Blind is the one holding the final item here. Fred in the similar situation.
Yep, we are going to see a boss kill. We are going to see a pendant dungeon completed. I'm pretty sure Andy was the one who checked the pedestal. I know he values checking pedestal.
He did check it, yeah. I don't believe Fred did, no. So, Fred is still in the dark. Am I allowed to make the same pun twice?
Yeah, sure. You can... You can just... I'm not gonna... No, I am. Actually, I'm gonna frown upon using the same pun. If you can keep going on a series of puns on the same topic that they're all different, though, I love that. Each one gets better and better.
Are you gonna fire me from commentary? Trying to ignite chat.
We're about to get flamed.
There we go.
All right. Well, unless Andy just spontaneously combusts, he's looking pretty good here. He's got everything he needs to keep him warm in Ice Palace. If he decides to go that way, he is going to be turning in the mushroom first. Fred has also finished up Thieves Town. And we'll see. He's got those crystals, but he does not want to do dark rooms as he's shown. So, does he? I mean, he says, "I'll go to Pendant Thieves Town before I finish a dark room, Palace of Darkness." Does that hold true for Ice Palace Pendant? Does that hold true for Misery Mire Pendant? Well, that also has dark rooms. Probably not, but.
Yeah,
things are looking worse and worse for him.
And I always say this, in my opinion, I believe that first dark room in Mire in the basement is arguably one of the most difficult ones out of all the dark rooms. Just purely because those fireball spitters shoot so quickly. In addition to the Cane of Samaria block on, is really finicky, but interestingly enough, both players are entering Ice Palace immediately after the completion of Thieves.
It's got what is it? I think it's got 3 items, or I don't know, but it's got more items than Meyer.
It does.
And it's got the green pendant to sweeten the pot just a little more. So I would expect them to come here rather than go to Meyer. Ice Palace sucks, but Meyer sucks too. So I say go with the number of items.
Fred doing a dance there with the penguin, hook-shotting back and forth. Slides on his belly. When the tango penguino.
The pango.
Pango.
The pango tango.
Pango tango.
It takes 2 to pango. All right, Andy is moving on. We're gonna see if he's gonna do a bomb jump here. This can actually hurt you sometimes if you need to fully explore the dungeon. Those blue pegs being up can hinder your progress, but he is gonna leave these pegs up and do the bomb jump, and he finds the pixel he needs right away. Very clean bomb jump from him.
There's actually a route that you can take that is the bomb jump. You fall down, push the block down, and then you walk back up to get on the other side of those pegs and continue on through the dungeon as normal to check the remaining chests. Not sure how entirely efficient that is, but Andy deciding to go through and check these. It's on the far end of the dungeon. As Fred looking for that correct pixel.
Looks like he
looks
one
good.
too low that time. Oh,
he was just 1 too low. He had an extra pixel of space between his bomb and his sword. There's a couple of different visual cues, but deciding to just go on without doing the bomb jump.
Oh, we got the Canis Maria. Andy's found it on the east side of Ice Palace. That is one of these 2 troublesome items down. It is now a quest for the Ice Rod.
And so now these players got to make a choice. Well, okay, Andy has to make a choice here. Does he continue to search for all these items in these dungeons, or is he going to make the gamble, go to T-Rock, and see if ice is in T-Rock or Mimic Cave?
Oh, this is interesting. I was watching Andy do a warm-up race before this one, and trying not to pay too much attention because once I see where all the items are in one race, I can't keep straight where the items are in the second race. So, loosely paying attention, but I did notice he remarked specifically that it's kind of annoyingly often how frequently the Ice Rod is in Turtle Rock. So I think he's got a pretty good sense of the chances it could be there. I could definitely see him going straight there. But he's also just been very thorough so far in this game, so I also wouldn't be too surprised if he was to go over to Misery Mire and just check off everything before heading up to Death Mountain.
And I do want to mention real quickly a very nice bomb jump that Andy did to get over that pit right above the room that he's currently in. Other section of the dungeon more quickly. That's a fairly precise jump as well. And Fred running into some issues, not having the big key, so unable to get to the lower part of the dungeon to finish it off here. And to take down Cold Stare.
He's got the Fire Rod. You could open it with Bombos to have more magic to use on this Fire Rod, but he's got the Gold Sword, and you know what? He looks like he knows how to use it. Great Cold Stare fight from Andy, getting them in the corner and delivering those 4 hits. Gets a Compass, which is, he probably knew that, but Green Pendant. This could be what he's looking for. Sahasrara will give you an item once you show up at his hut with the Green Pendant. And we've seen him have some key items before. If you can't have a pedestal seed, you at least want a green pendant seed.
And are we going to find out right now? Yes, indeed. Navigate the post-Aghanim dead, laggy area. All those guards there.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about those guards, but they really lag. Wow, the green pendant leads to the bug net. So the one upside to this is that it's looking more and more like Andy's going to have filled in all 40 spots on his tracker. Small comfort, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, it's close to 100% too. I think he's missing only one bottle. I believe he's picked up 3.
Well, he is saying no to Misery Mire. He is hoping he does not have to fill in the whole tracker. He is going up to Turtle Rock, because he's already been to Hera, so he's not doing that. And he's banking on the Ice Rod being there.
No, I'm wondering what Fred's decision is going to be. He's probably going to go to turn in the green pendant. Really curious as to what his decision is going to be. Is he going to go as well, or is he going to make another decision?
Yeah, this decision's a lot different for Fred with those 2 crystals still left to go. He's obviously uncomfortable doing the dark rooms in Palace of Darkness, but at a certain point, you gotta wonder, how uncomfortable are you? Like, are you totally impossible, can't do it, or is it something you just really don't like? So he did not go straight to Sahasrara. He did go to the dark portal before heading up there, and so I'm thinking that he is gonna kind of face his fears and head back in afterwards.
Looks like he's going by Sahasrara right now. I mean, if it were me, I would have just mirrored right there in that little enclosed maze. Talked to Sahasrara and then mirrored, gone into Pod. He's gonna have to do a little bit of backtracking there, but that's pretty minor.
Yeah, but also, could you imagine if he had the lantern in there, Andy falling in Turtle Rock just before getting into the door on the side, so now he's going to have to ride this slow-moving block all the way back across.
Yeah, that is a good point, though, that you make. If, what if Lantern... For all Fred knows, that's where Lamp was. It's a Sahasrara, so it's a gamble he's deciding to make here. Does make that one Terrapin room a little bit easier. We'll see if he decides to use that. And Andy deciding just to tank that roller damage with so many hearts that he has in his red mail. It's really... Actually, also with having the magic powder to just to powder all of the anti-fairies.
Yeah, both Misery Mire and Turtle Rock in particular are just rife with anti-fairies, and it's one of the reasons why the powder is one of the more valuable safety items that runners pick up in no major glitches. And Andy he's also got that bug net, so if he decides to take a couple for the road, he can do that too. Doing a great job with the Chain Chomp room there. That is pretty scary, even with red mail, but gets through unscathed.
Yeah, excellent Chain Chomp room, and good Terrapin room for Fred as well.
One more room to traverse for him. And then a hallway, I guess. This one's a little easier to deal with than some of those other ones.
Now I'm curious to see, is Andy going to decide to gamble here, take this key? No, he is not. Oh, well, because he's still looking for Ice Rod, obviously. Okay, yeah, never mind. My point is completely invalid. All right, so he has grabbed another key, so he's gonna head on over to the big chest, and then continue on through the dungeon. Hopefully, finding that, he's just hoping and praying that he finds that ice rod. Otherwise, probably gonna be Meyer time. I don't think that there's any more overworld locations to check.
None that I can think of. And Andy, he's not really the kind of player who forgets to check a place. This is his favorite game ever since he was a kid, and just kind of the basic knowledge of where everything is in the game is ingrained pretty deeply inside him. So I would be pretty surprised if he has forgotten to check somewhere.
Oh, yeah, chat is saying Spike Cave. Yes, apologies. I've forgotten about Spike Cave.
He can head over there after checking Turtle Rock if he has to. We'll see if perhaps the Mimic Cave has the ice rod. Nope. Is this a back-to-back? I don't think so. It's news to me if it is. Schedule just says game 1, so I think this will be the last match of this on this channel, and there will be there is going to be one more match on Speed Gaming 1 shortly. Maybe just as this one's about to wrap up, that one will be starting. So Fred's got his Palace of Darkness crystal, but did he check the items in the Dark Maze, or did he just say, well, screw it, I just need to get this crystal done?
Oh, gosh. No, he did not. Oh, he's got his 4 remaining chests. I think one of them is the... He has his key that he needs. I missed. So I think one of them is going to be compass or compass or map. And then the remaining 3 have the potential for the ice rod. We're going to find out right now. Well, you've got the mirror shield, Andy. Just walk straight into him.
But that's slower than dashing. So he's going to dash it.
Heart piece. Oh man, he's getting just comboed left and right. He's going to go down and open up this door. Yeah, he's going to open this door.
Oh, heart.
Please.
Andy,
he's holding his shield out now. All okay. Right. Oh, it's not here.
He's down to 1. Oh no!
It's not here.
So now, not only is he going to be opening this for the checkpoint, he's opening this just to get out of here.
Just to leave. Oh man. So what does that mean? It means Spike Cave or Misery Mire.
He's kind of close to Spike. I mean, he's a flute away, I guess, from either location. So that's not one reason to prioritize one location over the other. Both suck. You don't want to have to check either. And he's going for Mire. And also chat pointing out that Fred, after obtaining the green pendant, did not go back to see Sahasrara. Not gonna be a problem for him because really. He only has rupees or something, I can't remember. But still, that's another sort of the empty spot in a trail of places Fred has been.
He had the bug net. The most important thing.
Oh, how could I? Oh, silly me. A very key item indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed, to Mire 2. 1 cycles the Wizrobes. Very nice rune.
Yep.
And Fred is going to Turtle Rock, so he just lost his one big advantage he had over his opponent, who had wasted time checking an entire dungeon for this this last remaining item required for Go mode. And that advantage is now lost as Fred heads inside Turtle Rock, and it's going to take something crazy for Fred to come back from this one.
Finding his first item of 2 in Meyer, the bloomerang. Oh boy.
If it turns out he finds this other item here pretty quickly, then he is sadly not going to light up everything on the tracker. So
How
if
many,
you're a fan of completion,
go ahead, sorry.
Then you're voting for Vitreous to have this this trolley ice rod or Spike Cave. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, how many are you aware of the number of races where we have actually had the entirety of the tracker lit up?
I've definitely seen it happen in 2 races that I can recall. And I feel like I've probably seen it more than that, and I'm just forgetting.
I would say probably the any pedestal required seeds are probably the most likely to have everything lit up, since you're going to be doing all the dungeons anyway.
Yeah, the 3 pendants are the 3 biggest offenders for dark spots on the tracker. And we've had a fair share of pedestal required seeds. I think 4, maybe 5 so far in the tournament. A couple pedestal pulls that were not required by Andy and someone else. Someone else did go ahead and just do a blind pull. Was it Ampharos, maybe? Someone in chat will help me out here, I think.
This Andy or
other Andy? The Andy you probably think of when I say
other
Andy check
Andy
pedestal.
the best.
Well, I was right. It was Amazing Ampharos who blind pulled a pedestal, and DT did it too. Pug Andy, yeah, that's another one.
Yeah. And there's the other. That's it. That's
Where
the other
is it?
item. Oh,
It's got to be Spike Cave, right? Oh,
it has to be. He's not gonna. What? You got your 2 items.
Okay.
So you don't need to be here anymore. Well, rip full item tracker.
So I said I was watching Andy before the race. In that match, he posted a 157 because it was a pretty trolley seed. He had to go to all the pendant dungeons, and I'm pretty sure it got down to there's only one place this item can be, and I really hope that it's actually there when I go to check it. And I can't help but notice he is not going to Spike Cave. I guess he's double checking the Lake Hylia item. Perhaps he didn't actually do this, but nope. There's a couple of whirlwinds there of frustration after seeing the Lake Hylia item, as Fred braves some of Turtle Rock in the dark here. This room's a lot easier to deal with than some of the ones in House of Darkness and Meyer. Andy checking the merchant, just double check. Maybe that was it. Maybe it was Skull Woods. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking, but he's clearly not thinking Spike Cave.
Maybe he forgot what the pedestal said.
Oh man! After I talked up Andy's cool under pressure nature and how he knows the game so well, and he never forgets to check a place. This is I would not have expected this of Andy, but when race time, there's certain pressures going on, and maybe he's getting all mixed up between both races. I don't know, but he is going to check pedestal again. He is going to see maximum health increased, and he's probably going to realize that's pretty familiar looking. So let's see what he does with that not new information he's gained. This is also not Death Mountain, but it's leading to a save and quit. Old man Mountain Cave.
Oh, dude.
Sanctuary.
This is gotta be frantically checking, where is this item? What location did I miss?
Checking the bonk rocks to the left. Sees it's already open. Sees King's Tomb is already open. Man, this is rare footage of AND4H in a panic.
And this might be the turning point here. So the mistake that Fred can exploit here. You did say earlier on that this is Andy's race to lose. Well,
he's losing it.
He's losing it. We did see Fred forget to check. Oh, he didn't check the big chest.
I feel like there's a couple places that Andy's checked in the overworld that Fred hasn't. So I don't know if Fred is going to be thinking as soon as he comes at the Turtle Rock, like, oh, it's got to be Spike Cave, right? Like he might go somewhere else.
I'm really confused.
Andy, what are you doing?
Well, not with Andy. I'm confused with Fred because he's already gone through T-Rock, checked all the 4 chests at the end, went back and opened up the big chest, which he didn't get. And I assume if he didn't check the big chest initially, he also didn't check Mimic Cave. Can't beat T-Rock. He doesn't have the Ice Rod. So why is he continuing to go through this dungeon?
Both
all right,
players,
but Andy,
man.
he is at Death Mountain now. This has to be it. He's got to be like, oh my god, face palming super hard.
I was getting pretty excited that, you know, but as soon as Fred got out of Turtle Rock, they were in a lot of ways even. It was suddenly anyone's game, and
there he goes.
Fred just still here.
Why is he's going to? He's in for a rude awakening in just about like 30 seconds from now. He doesn't have the Ice Rod still.
Oh, there it is. The menu goes up, up, and then
and there it is, dude.
All right.
The Ice Rod.
And the final possible location, Andy obtains the Ice Rod. No pendant from Misery Mire. It's going to be 39 out of 40 on the tracker, but this is the ice cold nail in the coffin, I suppose, for Fred. Andy on his way back to Turtle Rock to finish it off this time. Here's actually a chest Fred did not check. He does finally check it, save and quit. And does he go to Spike Cave? If he were to go there right away, and Andy, you know, has some trouble like Ganon or Ganon's Tower, we could maybe have something. But like I said, there's a lot of overworld locations Fred has not checked, and so he is not making Spike Cave a priority.
Oh, you know what? He might be going into Swamp. Check that one item right now. Or he's doing Big Bomb.
Oh yeah, this is a very smart play. Pretty short to grab 2 items here.
Considering the situation, it's a good play from him. But yeah, so Andy has entered go mode here. 7-minute mark. I'm interested to see locations checked number for him at the end. I mean, I think there was only 2 in Mire, Vitreous, and then that one remaining chest. Should have been... Oh, well, then there's a couple more in Pod that he skipped because he didn't know. So it's going to be pretty close. Over 200, I'm going to assume.
If Ganon's Tower has a poorly placed big key and you do end up scouring Ganon's Tower for all those locations, yeah, could be.
I forgot that those are going to obviously count into that as well.
As a commentator, I'm very mindful about where the big key is in Ganon's Tower, because it's one of the most important jobs is conducting the poll and you know, handing out the proper rewards to the winners who guess where the big key is. 1,000 cool points are up for grabs, but you have to wait. You can't submit your guesses yet. You do have to wait until Andy is done with Turtle Rock. Fred is off to Lost Woods. He's checking this pedestal This is a pretty good play, I think, in his situation. He hasn't seen it yet. It was not a great play in Andy's situation, having already checked it.
So maybe. I do have to say, though, 1,000 cool points are on the line. However, we are having a special promotion with this race where actually not only are the 1,000 cool points on the line, but in addition, should you guess the correct chest, all of my cool points are also up for grabs as well. You will receive the 1,000 plus however many cool points that I have. So
that's
make sure to get
a vague number.
A vague number, isn't it?
You could have no cool point. What does that even mean to them? I don't even know how to get excited. I get the feeling you're not taking this seriously. All right, Andy's heading into the Trinex
calling them in.
He does. He does have the ice rod, unlike Fred, so he is going to be able to continue and actually fight this boss properly. Going backdoor here, just misses being able to track down the ice head, but does successfully get the zero strike. Oh, no, just kidding. There's the head.
Just barely missed it. Yep.
Will he get the spins afterwards in the second phase? You can get 2 hits with a well-placed spin, and just barely missing the beautiful kill with the swipe to the right. Ends up taking a hit, and then swiping at him from inside the beast. Takes down Trinex, 20 rupees for his trouble, and of course, the last crystal.
Take a good long look at that tracker on Andy's side. Forever destined to not be filled in.
Yeah, he was in there, man. He was in Misery Mire. He was looking. He did all kinds of rooms in there, but he did not finish it, and that is reflected in that one dark blemish upon an otherwise perfect tracker.
Looks like chat is already on top of the whole chest guessing. We haven't even initiated the poll. Sorry, you're all going to have to guess again. Poll. Let's see. Let's get those guesses in there. Count as Andy has now entered Ganon's tower. Dash there on the stairs to go up the stairs faster. When you're holding out your sword and then do a hook dash, you can walk up the stairs faster that way.
First chest just has rupees, second chest bombs, and not going to be getting crazy with the right side. I mean, when you enter Ganon's at like 150 or later, it's easy to think, you know, I might be behind at this point. Bottle of green goo up on the torch, but Andy doesn't want it.
Final bottle. It's the last one.
So no 100% for him, it looks like. Pretty slim chance he finds himself back in that room. And yes, of course, Bob does live the glitched sprite that gets unglitched when you knock down whatever item is on top of that torch that we call Bob. We'll stay glitched. We'll stay Bob. Forever in our hearts. No big key yet for Andy in the first 7 locations checked. If you said 1 to 7, too bad. If you said 8, hold your breath. Nope, you're wrong. You can breathe. Blue boomerang doing some work. So I know some players, even after they find the red boomerang, will still switch to the blue one just because it's easier to use for these switches in Ganon's Tower.
And that's how you tell, you know, they've probably done some no major glitches speedruns. That's exactly the reason why I always prefer the blue boomerang in Ganon's Tower, because of those. I'm just already familiar with those strats where you use the blue boomerang in this area of Ganon's Tower.
Opportunity for more chests coming up for Andy as Fred finds a compass here in Misery Mire. He shouldn't have to full clear the whole thing because he has checked pedestal, so as soon as he sees what he's looking for is not in here, he is free to leave. That should be it.
All right, big key not in chests 11 through 9 through 12.
Where does Fred go now? We know Spike Cave is the place to be. He is floating to 1. I don't think he has been back to Hera.
Ooh, to check the basement. Yeah, that's a good point. 2 beforehand. Andy coming up on Bob chest number 13.
I think this is 14.
Either way.
It's not there. Yeah, I feel like I would remember the Bob chest. Yeah, see,
Bob
chat's
is
already
14.
like, as soon as you say Bob chest, they're like, oh, you mean 14. Ice Armos here for Andy, taking 1 hit again, but finishing the fight pretty close to the door.
Oh, it is 14. Yep, okay.
15, 16, 17. There it is.
Magic number. You receive 1,000 cool points plus all of my cool points, which is a whopping negative 1,000.
What? You offed your cool points debt to our winner? God. This is just, it just corrupts everything that this raffle stands for. I'm thoroughly disappointed. I'm just gonna have to make do with Andy making his way through Mimic Room, as Fred does indeed wait out the basement tile room and Tower of Hera. He's gonna be awfully close to Spike Cave after he comes out of here. We're hoping and praying that's where he goes next. Andy's into the gauntlet now. He's got his silver arrows out with half magic.
Sorry, I just got excited about that snipe on the red Stalfos with his silver arrow.
Yeah, man, he's it's risky. It's risky. If you miss with this bow, the silver arrow is all sparkly with a lot of little sprites that add a lot of little bits of lag. And so as powerful as they may be, they're very punishing if you do miss. And it's pretty hard to hit with things from far away. Update for Fred, he is indeed going to Spike Cave, so he's going to find this ice rod in pretty short order here. He's going to be in go mode, and going to be finishing not too far behind Andy, especially if he had decided to go back to Swamp or something. But Andy's now done with the gauntlet. I thought maybe he would pull out Fire Rod with the half magic. It's a little more reliable. Oh, look at all the lag, and the land mole is missing every single one with the silver arrows. Just going to go for some slashes with the gold sword to finish off all 3 on the second phase. Doing that wonderful Cane of Samaria strat on the 3 Wizrobes. And once again.
Yeah. I do have to say, probably some of the... It's a fairly simple strat, but it just is so cool.
Yeah, I like watching it every single time. Every race I come to, I always point it out, even though it's standard business. I just like seeing it so much.
Nice bonk there off of the dead rock to spawn the fairy out of those pile of rocks. Without actually breaking the blocks there for Fred.
Oh yeah, that was really cool. You learn something new every time.
Yeah, if there's anything that has something that bonk it or something near it, the bonk radius actually it's actually like I guess the best way that I can know how to describe it is if there's like a radius where if you bonk within a certain space around the thing that will give you something after bonking it, it will give you the bonk thing. So that's why you see sometimes people dash past the pillar in desert and hit the wall behind it and it still comes off. You saw it happen just there with Fred. It also can happen with the Oh, now I'm blanking. But if you bonk close enough proximity to something, you don't actually have to hit the object for it to give you the reward.
I will confess I did not see it happen to Fred. I was too busy watching Andy not open the final chest. I'm gonna have to talk with him about that afterwards. For now, we'll focus on this Aghanim 2 fight. I think that was like a double.
Yeah.
I go into my coffee place and ask for that, and they never know what to say. They're like, what's the third one? Salt? I don't know. So he's moving on now to the Ganon fight. Fred making his way through an already complete Turtle Rock.
I don't know, man. Salt, caramel, chocolate. Pretty good combo.
That could work. The mark on your hand says something we made up. 6 slashes per phase. Is he going to be doing it the charge strats? I like this. Oh, he's a little too close to that trident. All right, does get it.
I think those are the 6 that he needed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dodging these fire bats. Does not get the hit on the third phase in time to stop this fire bat. So that chases away from Ganon. But he actually, I guess he did get that hit in. So he stopped the second fire bat from coming out. Once one of those bats spawns, it can lead to a chain reaction of not being able to get the hit on Ganon right away and having to deal with 4 different sets of spinning bats.
I think Andy could have gotten a triple there, but also missed the lamp torch glitch, but nicely there. To Andy as Fred finishes out Trinex, and Andy finishing with an official SRL race time of 2 hours, 1 minute, and 44 seconds. Congratulations to him on taking this first match off of Fred. There still are, potentially 2 matches remaining between these 2 players. Make sure to be checking the schedule for those.
That's right. You've got, if you specifically want to see this this set of matches and how it's going to play out, then you can type what someone else has already typed in ALTTP, and you can check the schedule there, and that shows you each matchup and when it is happening. But if you just want to see when A Link to the Past or anything is happening on the channel, you can type !schedule and check that out there. We have 2 channels. Obviously, we're on Speed Gaming 2 right now, so it can be kind of tricky to keep on top of what's going on both channels. So I recommend, maybe just bookmark that page. I don't know. But either way, this race has concluded. Fred pausing a little bit after during the crystal get cutscene to add his comment in the SRL race. 3 passes through Turtle Rock. I need an ice rod for him again. Whereas Andy's commented the ultimate combination of never lucky and stupidity. So maybe we can get him to elaborate on just what he means by that. I'm gonna pull him in. I've yanked him in here against his will. He's here now. How are you doing, Andy?
Well, shaking a bit.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. It was about 5 or 10 minutes after I just got done saying how you know the game really well. You never really worry about forgetting an item.
My plan was to go to Spike Cave after Harrow Basement, and I just completely forgot. That was my plan. That's why I went up there. It's like, I'm going to do Spike Cave and Harrow Basement. And I only did Harrow Basement and just left.
Well, I certainly think you're not going to make that mistake again. It's something you only make once. But congratulations on your win here in game number 1.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
In pretty decent time for having checked nearly every single location in the entire game.
Yeah.
Some of them twice.
Yeah, that too. Yep.
I would have sure checked Spike Cave so much sooner. I was planning on it. I just didn't. Just completely forgot.
I think you might be the first player to check the pedestal twice.
Yeah, I was really concerned. I was like, what did I forget? And then I was like halfway somewhere, and I was like, I never went to Spike Cave. Oh, that's where it is.
Yeah. I knew for sure that you were in panic mode the second you didn't go straight to Ice Cave. I was like, he usually is pretty good about... And so Fred at that time was still in Turtle Rock. He too went to Turtle Rock hoping the Ice Rod was there. You had a pretty big lead for most of the race.
Like, I felt like my routing outside of forgetting Spike Cave and like my movement was actually really, really good. Like, I felt really comfortable about that one.
Yeah,
Until I had to panic.
Right, yeah, we were saying, Fred was making some gambles, I think. He was doing some things in atypical order, and they were not paying off because you were doing all the things that kind of make the most sense, the most standard play. And every time you were right. You just kept getting the progression items, and Fred just kept not. So things were going so smooth for you.
Yeah, that seed screamed Aghanim. It's like, hey, you have a golden sword, and you need to get a fire rod, and yeah.
Going to Aghanim late was one of the things that Fred got caught up on.
Well,
partially
like
because he didn't check lumberjack. Actually, you totally skipped that.
Yeah, my plan was like, I looted as much as I could, and then my only options were go to Eastern, or go to Aghanim's cave, or go fight Aghanim. And I was like, well, Aghanim might have something, and I know I need a fire rod anyway. Get that out of the way while I have a butter sword. Phew. Sometimes, never, always lucky.
Well, it worked out, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Cranked called it.
So, is this
plot armor?
Sorry, what did he call it?
Cranked called it me having plot armor.
So you think you're the protagonist?
No, I don't
the...
think I'm the protagonist. He thinks I'm the protagonist.
That's high praise.
I mean, it worked in Mystery Tournament. I definitely had plot armor there.
That's how he wins. You just make yourself the protagonist of the tournament.
So how many locations do you think I checked? I'm guessing like 187.
We were thinking it might break 200, but I think it's because of the, like, if you see something...
What number did I say? What number did I say?
You said 187. 6.
I had 170. I thought it was perfectly correct. Fuck. Oh, sorry. I mean, what the heck?
Yeah. Either way, though, it was a very, very large amount. But I do, Andy, I have a question for you now. So since you've taken game one off of Fred, you've still got, one, potentially another game here with him, with a win under your belt. Is that going to change your the future games that you guys have, or are you going to continue to do, what we were seeing from you is a very like standard, check the most efficient places and
yeah, I'm not a gambling man. Sometimes it doesn't pay off to not gamble anyway, though. I like to play things the way I always do. It's my own style. I can't deviate from that. It'll just make me forget things, and can't do that. I gotta keep doing things as I do.
Yeah, a race is not a scenario to be
experimenting.
Yeah. Either way, though, congratulations again on your win. Unfortunately, I do have to duck out here just a little bit early. I do have I must go do. Was the honor to commentate with you. Glad I was able to do that.
Yeah, thanks so much for stepping in.
I kind of want to watch the VOD because I want to see what Myth says about me.
I say probably a lot of maybe too many nice things. I should mention Andy's a friend of mine. I meant to say it at the front of the race. Andy's a friend of mine, and so my commentary is probably, take what I say with a grain of salt. I hope that I give Fred the respect he deserves as a Link to the Past player, as a member of the community. And we've got him in Ganon's Tower now. He's pretty low on health, but I think he's still got a blue potion. He went in on that Stalfos, wow. Having a bit of trouble. He made a lot of decisions that just didn't pan out for him.
I looted so much so fast. I felt like I said, I felt my routing was so efficient that game, and it still just slapped me in the face for making me forget about Spike Cave. Hey, remember that one thing?
Fred getting these long distance snipes on the land molas.
I tried to snipe. I missed every shot on the land molas.
You sure did miss all 3 of them. But then you cleaned up all 3 in the second phase with the gold sword.
Also, there was that time I mirrored out desert. That was funny.
Yes, I knew there was something that I meant to poke you about.
I think that was actually...
That was
I take partial blame for that, as I was, just before that happened, I was mentioning how...
I had my mirror ready.
Gonna be able to, since he entered in from the back part, he'll just mirror after grabbing this chest, and then you...
Yeah, I just hit the wrong button. I was like my brain was like, I'm gonna press Y now.
But again, though, congratulations. I do have to duck out of here. But my name is WildDanaCon69, joined by Mythical9, my wonderful co-commentator. Make sure to follow these runners. Stick around and cheer on Fred here as he finishes up through G Tower. I will see you guys next mission.
I think he's referencing a different game. I don't think that's part of Link to the Past.
Apparently there's a Super Metroid Randomizer tournament coming. Craig had messaged me about it. It's like, is it time to learn Super Metroid finally? Maybe.
I mean, the randomizer is powerful fun, man. There's people, it pulls people in a way that I have not really seen on our channel before, and it is really exciting. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Siren Call of Super Metroid does lure you in for that. But for now, it's Link to the Past. You're up 1-0 in this series.
Hooray!
I don't think you've got the other match scheduled yet. I don't want to suddenly just put pressure on you to schedule this match right after you. But yeah. If you want to pay attention to the schedule to see when the next match will be scheduled. We'll see if these guys will go to a game 3, or if Andy can take it 2-0. Fred put up a hell of a fight. His routing, his decisions took him into all the wrong places, but he kept pace through a lot of it and had a shot when you were, spacing out on Spike Cave. Fred was about to finish Turtle Rock and have all the crystals the same as you, and it was basically whoever goes to Spike Cave first. So it was pretty exciting there for a moment. Fred doing the full gauntlet of medallions on the validation chest, except he doesn't actually have Quake, so he's just going to go with a bomb instead.
I grabbed Quake in the off chance that I would need it. I did not need it.
You also did not grab the final chest in Ganon's Tower on the off chance that you might need it.
I didn't need it because it certainly wasn't going to be the 4th bottle. I don't know what it could have been that could have helped me, because I had literally everything else that could be used.
Well, I'll leave chat to maybe point out something that could have been inside. Maybe dignity? I don't know.
I already lost my dignity when I forgot Spike. You can't do that on me.
You could have got it back. It could have been sitting... Alright, I'll stop messing around with you on the mic. We'll give the focus over to Fred. Andy, thank you so much for joining us in the race. Congratulations and best of luck.
Thank you very much. See you folks later, guys. GG. Can't wait for game 2.
I can't wait either. Fred is done with Aga. Had a pretty good Aghanim too. I think he had the same double. that confuses the people at Tim Hortons. Heading into the Ganon fight now. I just realized I did another Canadianism. So my apologies for that. 3, 4, 5. Gets the last hit. Or I guess I miscounted, or maybe he just wants to be thorough. Not getting the invincibility frames out of the hook shot that he was looking for. But does get that hit on the third phase of Ganon to prevent that fire bat from coming out. Tim Hortons has crept its way across the border a little bit. Alright, good to know. I think I did know that. Don't think he's going to be able to get the double here. He's too close to the torch. He does get the double. Wow, just barely. Nice job, Fred. See if he can follow up like Andy, the double-double. Yeah, 2 cream, 2 sugar. Tim Hortons knows exactly what you're talking about with that Ganon kill. Sword up, GG in SRL. The final time of 2:15:44 to Fred Coughlin, offering up a very civil and refined good game, sir, in the race chat. I don't know if Fred's the sort of interview kind of guy, because I do know that Fred is the father sort of guy. His races tend to be later at night because that's when the kids are asleep. And so sound is a concern. So I don't know if he's going to have his headset and you'll be able to chat with us. But I have asked. And we'll see. But if you're the sort of cold-hearted person who doesn't care, you could watch the race that started about 20 minutes ago over on twitch.tv/speedgaming. That is between the OK Guy and New Life 88. And right about now, they've probably left Escape. They've probably started checking Kakariko, Southern Hyrule. So they're starting to get some items and things are probably starting to get interesting. So I highly recommend checking that out. Maybe just open it and then keep the volume on this tab in case Fred shows up. We got nothing yet so far though. So for now, in addition to plugging the Link to the Past race, as I just did, let me tell you, this weekend, big stuff coming up tomorrow, Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern. It is the Mega Man 3 Finals. It's been a while. It's been too long, I think, that we haven't had Mega Man 3 back on the channel. But the finals, the bronze medal match, as well as the gold medal match, back-to-back, all going to be happening. We're going to figure out who of the final 4 stand on each place of the podium and who gets to stand away from the podium and get blown up by that one bomb car in that embarrassing cutscene. And I don't know, it's going to be good. Fast SCC and Prissy are your 2 contenders for the gold medal. And Darko and Totally Pulling a Blank on the last contender as he fills time and scrolls the bracket. It's Colonel Fatso and Darko, who are your contending for that bronze medal. And that should be good. That's Saturday, 4 p.m. Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, the Super 16. This is the first time we've done this. We're really looking forward to it. It's a race. It's noon? Okay, we've moved it. Maybe we didn't move it and I've just been wrong this whole time. All right, it's actually at noon. It's at 12 Eastern. And that is the Super 16. So this is a race of 16 Super Nintendo games, back-to-back. And they're all early in the release cycle. So this is their 25th year-ish anniversary. We're going to celebrate. Oh, they heard you. I wasn't sure. They did hear the great Feasel. I don't know, Phantom Ryu. Oh, Phantom Ryu said it because he can hear you. Oh no, I blew it anyway. Let me tell you about the Super 16. It's like the Big 20, if you're a fan of that. 16 games, fairly short goals for each one, little bite-sized pieces jumping around through various notable titles and other not so notable titles, like Hal's Golf. But we wanted to cover the full spectrum of what the Super Nintendo has to offer. So it's a big celebration of speedrunning and of the wonderful console that is the Super Nintendo. And it's going to take a while. You know what? That's the 16 games. This is a lot of games. So that's going to be going on most of Sunday, but it's going to start at noon. Yeah, Smart Ball's in there. I don't know who someone was responsible for that. I might be 50% responsible for that. But that's in there. So if you want to see players struggle with the controls in that game, then that's what you want to see. I'm still not hearing anything out of Fred, so I am going to call it probably 10 to step. The kids are crying. I don't know. Being a father is tough. But thanks so much to Fred for taking time out of his busy schedule to race with us tonight. Put up a heck of a fight. Went for some of those gambles that just did not pay off. But I don't think they were necessarily the wrong play. So we'll see. Maybe those gambles will go his way in Game 2 and he can bring it to a Game 3. Who knows? I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. I highly recommend that you go check out the race on Speed Gaming happening now. Started about 20 minutes ago. And even if you don't, thanks for coming out. This is it for Speed Gaming 2. I'm Mythical9. I was joined by Wild Anaconda 69. And thanks so much for coming out. Bye, guys.